Hey guys, Mr. Mackie here. Now before I go through the challenge I set you yesterday, I just want to go over a new change that I'm doing to this channel. Now ever since I started this channel 2 weeks ago, I've had a lot of parents messaging me saying they've really helped. This channel has really got their children learning and it has helped them improve in their maths even when stuck at home, and it really makes me smile. Another thing I've also heard from parents is they haven't seen many stuff related to GCSE, secondary school or even A-level on the channel. And I did promise that in the first video. So here's what's going to be happening starting from tomorrow. I'm going to be doing different themed weeks. So every other week there'll be a different secondary school GCSE theme that I will be teaching. So the other weeks therefore will be just numbers, so still focusing on percentages, decimals, anything related to number that I haven't covered yet. But in the other weeks there'll be GCSE related themes. So from tomorrow, for the whole of next week, I will be doing triangles. So I'll be focusing on loads of different areas of triangles, Pythagoras' theorem, the sine rule, the cosine rule, SOHCAHTOA. I will be doing all of triangles next week. Then the week after that will be number, so standard stuff that I've been doing in the past. And then from the 20th, I will be doing algebra. A whole week on algebra, so factorising, expanding brackets, balancing, flowcharts, easy. And then the week after that will be number. And I will do this at the end of this week. I'll then show the new rota for how May will look, and I'll continue doing this until the lockdown has been lifted and we can finally go back to school. So enough about what's going to be happening in the future. Let's focus on what's happening right now, and let's go through the challenge I set you yesterday. So this was the challenge I set you yesterday. There was a chessboard of 64 pieces and the chess pro beat the king. And the pro said that he wants 1 grain of rice on the first square, 2 grains of rice on the second, 4 on the third, 8 on the fourth, and it will double every time. How many grains of rice will there be in the final square of this chessboard? Now, I will give you a clue. This number is going to be humongous. It will be a number that I think is impossible to write down fully. So I want it to be written as an indice, which is what we did yesterday. So let's figure it out. So for the first one, there's just 1 piece of rice. The next one, there's 2, then there's 4, then there's 8. Do you notice anything about 2, 4, 8? Well, that's 2 squared, that's 2 cubed, so the next one would be 2 to the power 4. What would this one be? Well, there's just 1 2 there, so it would be 2 to the power of 1. But there's just 1, but because there's no 2's there's no actual even numbers here, we're not going to include that one. So all you've got to do is you have your 2, and then how many chessboard squares are there? There's 64, but we do not include one of them because it doesn't have an indice there. So there's 63 chess squares left, so it's 2 to the power of 63, which is the equivalent of about 9 billion trillion grains of rice. That is a lot of grains of rice, and I hope the king saw some sense there, but shouldn't have challenged a pro. So 8 plus 4. That's quite an easy one to start with today. That would just get us 12. But what if I did instead 8 squared plus 4? Will the answer be you square 8 and then add 4 to that, which will get 68? Or do we add 4 to 8 first and then square it? That will get us 144. Which one is it? Well, this is when we use something called BIDMAS. Now, BIDMAS is actually an acronym. It's loads of different words put together. Each of these letters stand for something. It's like what I did with KCF, keep, change, flip. But this BIDMAS is telling us the order in which we solve this problem and which one of these is the right answer. So the question is, what does BIDMAS stand for? So, does anyone want to hazard a guess for what BIDMAS actually stands for. I'll give you a clue. They're different things we do in maths whenever we're solving a problem. I think that's long enough. So let's start off with the ones I think you would know most likely. These four. M stands for multiply. D stands for divide. Can you guess what A and S stand for? Add and subtract. Now the I is what we did yesterday. Indices. And the B is something we've not actually done yet. Brackets. So this is telling us if we have a problem like 8 squared plus 4, we have to go through these, and whenever it applies, we do it. So are there brackets? No. Are there indices? Yes. There's an indice here, the squared symbol, the little 2. So let's do that one first. What is 8 squared? 8 times 8, remember your times tables, that will get us 64. Now we'll continue. Is there a division? No. Is there multiplying? No. Are we adding? Yes. What's 64? Add 4. 68. And now that we've gotten the answer to that, we don't need to do any subtraction. There's not any subtraction. So the answer was 68. So what about a problem like this? Well, I've written down 4 possible answers that this problem will get us. 2.6, 8, 20.3 and 6.2. So the question is, which one of these is the right answer? So let's get on with it. Haven't said that in a while. Blimey, felt nostalgic there. So, are there any brackets? Yes, there are. What's happening inside the brackets? It's 5 times 4. What's 5 times 4? 20. So you rub that out, and now we put our 20 there. We've done our brackets. Are there any indices? No, there's not. So now we move on to the next one. Are we dividing? Yes, we are. We're dividing 20 by 10. How many 10s go to 20? 2 of them. So we put that as a 2. Are we multiplying? No. Are we adding? Yes. What's 2 at 6? It will get us 8. And that is the right answer. What about this one? Well, we go through the steps again. Are there any brackets? Yes, there are. There's one here, 6 minus 2. What does 6 minus 2 get us? It gets us 4. Are there any indices? No. Is there any division? No. Is there any multiplying? Yes. 3 times 5. That will get us 15. So that's just 15 plus 4 now, which will get us 19. I know I'm doing a lot of examples on BIDMAS today. It's because I want to make sure if you're given questions like this, you know the order in which to solve it. Now this has all 6 BIDMAS in it. Now, because I'm starting a whole new topic next week and I'm doing a themed week, I am not setting you a challenge to do overnight. I'm setting you a challenge to do right now. Pause the video, see how well you do this, and in just a few seconds I will go over it. So pause, go try and do it, and then I'll go over it. Right, so let's start off with part 1. Are there any brackets? Yes. 8 minus 2 squared. Are there any indices? So now we focus inside the brackets. There are 2 separate BIDMASs going on there. So which one appears first? The indices. What's 2 squared? That will be 4. And now we just do 8 minus 4, which is 4. Now we carry on. Regarding dividing and multiplying, we don't really need to do dividing first. If there's still multiplying we need to do before dividing, do that first. So what is 4 times 4? That will get us 16. What's 16 divided by 8? That will be 2. And what's 2 plus 6? 8. And that is how you do BIDMAS. So tomorrow I'm going to start a whole new themed week, which is entirely based on triangles. All of these topics that I'm doing in triangles will be secondary school based and GCSE involved. So if you're a primary school kid and you're watching this, then I don't mind you watching next week's videos. They could be great preparation for the future. It's good to watch them as practice, but you won't need them for your SATs, because I'd be surprised if Pythagoras' theorem came up in your SATs. But it is good to watch so you can practice and prepare for when you do finally make that journey into secondary school. Also, thank you so much for all the support I've had so far. I've only been doing these for a couple of weeks now, but I have been amazed by the amount of support I've gotten. The number of people who've told me that these videos have helped their sons and their daughters really makes me smile. So, and thank you so much for helping. I'm trying my best to help with this, so can you try your best to help by sharing this channel, telling everyone you know about it, because we need to keep our children learning. Thank you, and let's bring on triangles.